How much was your sign up fees? Was it like $5 back then or $10 like that?
Something. It wasn't very much money. I was only 18, so my dad paid for all that. I didn't really care, So it wasn't too much, though. I'm sure it was very affordable. The big thing was you had to have white pants. That was to get in the picture.
Yeah,
White pants.
white pants.
You have white pants, you can't get in. I don't think
Back
they
in the old days. Now, doesn't that make sense? You got to wear white pants to get dirty. I mean,
that's right.
Who thought of this? I mean, this is. And if you didn't have the white pants, what happens, Greg?
You don't get in.
No getting in.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah, it don't matter. And that, I mean, I don't know, was that Fairchild that made that stupid rule up or what?
No. I think that's a rule that was in racing for years and years and years. I mean, back to the 30s, 40s, not just Speedway. I think it's in racing. Class C racing, all the racing, all the motorcycle racing. I remember everybody that was in the pits had to wear white pants. It's just that's just the way it was.
I think I read somewhere, if I'm not mistaken, that George Wynn helped write the rule book for the SRA. Is that true or something? You know that or not?
I don't know for sure, but I would sure George put his 2 cents in, and I'm sure Gary Fairchild did too. And all those guys that had been as part, because we used to have the meetings at Jerry Fairchild's place in Pasadena. So I remember we had meetings there. And so I don't know exactly who put together the rule book and all stuff, but I'm sure they all had their 2 cents. People that had background and that were a little bit older and had background in racing. I'm sure Harry had probably something to say about it, the promoters. But I really don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, well, they actually moved the meeting place from Jerry's shop because it got so big. They rented like this big hall or this big arena. It's actually really close, if I remember right next to the Milne Brothers shop in Pasadena, California. And I went there as a 16-year-old rider, and I fell asleep during the meeting because it was no place for a 16-year-old Speedway rider. That boring, long business. Oh, yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah, it was always, the riders against the promoters and nobody's getting, it's not fair and, all that stuff. I mean, it was a typical, employer-employee conflicts, that were going on. And so.
It was boring. It was. And I just fell asleep. I fell asleep.
Well, you probably weren't the only one.
Yeah. Well, no 16-year-old racer should be at one of those meetings, let me tell you.
You're right about that.